Yesterday I was at the Civil Society Conference for the United Nations in Salt Lake City, Utah, where they passed the Youth Climate Compact, which focused on a lot of issues of climate change. And one of the themes is the relationship between climate change and housing. So I know that Hurricane Sandy cost $19 million for repairs. So I wanted to know what federal legislation what is being done federally to actually invest in sustainable infrastructure in Nigeria.
Yes, thank you. Amazing question, because we have an entire public housing sub-policy to the Green New Deal that we are introducing and starting to beef up and roll out. Because here's the thing, is that clean air and clean water are human rights, and they are environmental issues. And we tend to think of climate change and environmentalism as about saving polar bears, when they're also about saving our own families. Here in the South Bronx, we have the highest rates of childhood asthma, some of which are the highest in the country. But you also have issues like Flint, where the lead in the water exclusively poisoned the city of Flint in a way that was concentrated with Black, brown, and poor families. And so environmental justice is a racial justice issue, it's a class justice issue, it's an income issue. And so when we talk about investments in public housing, it's to give people, what we believe is that environmental standards should not be on a gradient. We need to update NYCHA to some of the highest environmental standards in the world. We have hundreds of thousands of people living in these facilities, and one of the great things about buildings is that, first of all, buildings represent an enormous amount of carbon emissions. We don't think of it that way, but buildings have a huge amount of carbon emissions, and they're part of a huge amount of climate change, which is why our local New York City Green New Deal is making changes to buildings. So, for example, there's going to be a lot more regulations on those glass buildings, because they reflect and create more heat, especially locally. But also we can install solar panels, everything from passive house techniques. There was a really great new senior affordable housing project that just went up in Queens, and it uses something known as passive house techniques. So it's an affordable housing project that's built to some of the highest environmental standards. So it is extremely low emission, but also the people in there that are living in these facilities will enjoy clean air and clean water for years to come. And so that is a huge part of the justice component in making sure that we're making those investments in NYCHA, because that is where all the opportunity is. And when we talk about opportunity, one of the things that a lot of people don't know is that our federal statute privileges residents of NYCHA to a very large amount of economic opportunity as well within NYCHA itself. So you can get first consideration for certain contracts within NYCHA. So if you live in NYCHA and become a business owner, then you can have your business be considered first as an economic opportunity when NYCHA issues contracts. So a big part of our Green New Deal is it's about raising our environmental standards and practices, but it's also about creating millions of jobs in the process. And so what we want to do is, in upgrading NYCHA and upgrading the entire public housing stock in the United States, we have to create a lot of jobs to do that, and also jobs within NYCHA as well. Everything from home health care aides to scaffolding and construction represent an enormous amount of jobs that need to be created, and the Green New Deal is an investment to give people who live in NYCHA and working people jobs, improving our environment and our economy. And that's the only way we're going to get out of this mess.